Hi there, it's Vlad from Home Move Removals and Storage. Welcome to the Tetris Academy. Today we're going to be looking at straps and knot tying, and primarily we're going to learn the different types of knots that you can tie and how to tie them quickly and safely and securely. Now before we get started with me showing you the actual knots that we're going to learn, just a couple of things about straps. Always make sure your straps are hung neatly and in the same fashion that I show you in the off-sider video. Also, before you grab a strap, make sure that you've got the right strap for the job, so make sure the length is big enough for the job at hand. If not, if you run out of long straps, you can always tie two straps together. Be careful when tying straps together that you don't leave them knotted. There's nothing worse than trying to use a strap that's full of knots. So the first knot that we're going to learn is the quick release knots, and there's two components to this quick release knot. One is the tying onto the bar, and secondly the tying off of the quick release knot. So let me just show you the tying onto the bar. So wrap the strap around the bar, we put the long section in our right hand over our palm, and then we get a shorter length, about a foot or two long, and we put it over our palm like that to form a cross. And we simply bring it through the middle of the two crosses, put it behind our fingers, clamp our fingers tightly and push it through, and you pull, and there we have a nicely tied knot. I'll go through that process another time for you. So, long piece in your right hand, fold a shorter piece about a foot long over, through the gap, around the back of your fingers, and pull through. One of the great benefits of this knot is that you can tie it at a distance from the tie rails or from the wall. So if, say you've got a couch here and a fridge here, and your access to the bar is blocked, all you need to do is be able to get a hand through the gap, get it around the bar, and you can tie the knot from out here through. And there you go. Becomes a little bit troublesome if you've got a strap with knots in it. Sometimes hard to pull in, but it can be done. So let's assume we've got a nicely secure knot tied on at one end. Now I'm going to show you how to tie off. Now typically when people are first learning their quick release knots, tying off they find harder than tying on, and what they find difficult is keeping it nice and taut, keeping the tension there the whole time. Let me just take you through the process and then I'll break it down step by step. And you can see that knot can be quickly released, but it's nice and secure. Now, what am I doing there exactly? A couple of things. One, you'll notice that I'm always maintaining pressure, keeping on the strap, pushing against the bar with my left hand, maintaining that pressure the whole time, and it's my right hand that does the looping and feeding. And when I loop it round, I then move my left hand to the next position to maintain that pressure. I can go up, now I can tie it off on this bar here, like this, or I can simply move it up to a higher or lower bar. Now why would I move it up to a higher or lower bar? The main reason I do that, for a couple of reasons. If sometimes it's more secure because it's wrapping around more times, or maybe just through ease of access, it's easier for you to work at this head height than always bending over, and it's also better on your back. So again, you can move from bar to bar. Again, I'm maintaining pressure on the strap, pushing against the bar with my left hand, and then shifting to the next spot. And then you notice when I pull that strap back, I'm not pulling it down, I'm not pulling it up, I'm actually pulling it along the bar back towards the existing loop of the strap, so it grips onto the strap and it's extra taut. You can see that that is a nice tight knot there. Now some other variations that people might use to make this knot even more secure, simply more loops around the bar, or alternatively, some people also prefer to do a loop around the bar and then cut back around the strap like that, and then tie off. So now that we've looked at your basic quick release knot, tying on and tying off, let's look at some of the common errors that people go through when they're learning these knots. So I'd say probably one of the first errors is choosing to tie at the wrong height. If you've got something that's got a lot of weight at the top that's long and tall, you would not want to choose to tie the fridge off, say, at this lower level. It's just going to tilt and rock during transport. So always make sure that you are tying up at an appropriate, I'd say above the middle of the item or higher is a nice secure place to tie off. Second common mistake is having a gap between the strap and the edge of the item that you're trying to secure. So for example, if I was to tie a quick release knot from about there, and I'm just going to tie it off at this other end quickly. You can see that there's a gap between the item and where the strap hits the wall. This is just going to loosen up and wobble around. It's not secure at all. What we want to do is make sure that the knot is parallel to the item that we're trying to tie in. Or in other words, it's coming out perpendicular from the wall. Now, another common mistake is people take the strap on a really awkward journey, which means it's not quite parallel to the ground. So they might tie up here and then bring it down to the rail again. So you can see that this strap in effect has a curve in it. Again, as we transport this item, that curve is just going to wiggle loose, and this is not going to be securely tied in at all. So always make sure that you tie straight from one bar to another. Unless, of course, you're tying from a higher bar to a lower bar, that you do in some circumstances, but just make sure it's an even straight line so there's no chance of wiggle room. Now, the third common mistake is most people make is not maintaining pressure when tying off on the wall. You notice when I tied earlier that I used my left hand to maintain pressure on the strap against the bar. Now some people will try to loop around and they'll pull here and then I'll pull that up tight and then I'll try to loop it around again. But you see, I had to let go of it for a split second and it lost its tension. Then they'll do a knot and then they'll try to quickly pull it through. Kind of does the job, but really maintain that continuous pressure. Keep on moving to the nearest tie point. Pull it securely back towards the strap. Now we're going to look at tying triangle knots. Now, when would you use a triangle knot? Triangle knot is great for use when, for whatever reason, you can't tie off against a bar and you need to tie back off against the strap itself. Or also when you're tying in things that need a little bit more support. Say, for example, a large round marble tabletop, that if you tied a strap just from one angle to another, it's not going to keep it safe or secure enough. It's going to wobble around. So you're going to try to tie it with a bit of a V on one side, which gives you 3 anchor points to secure the marble table. Let me just take you through the triangle knot now. So, triangle knot we tie on in the same fashion. So we just do the triangle knot when we're tying off. What we do is we go around one bar and then we go another bar. And if you just want to tie off against the strap and you don't need the extra support from the triangle knot, then we suggest for safety that you go as close to the bar as possible around the strap itself. Just take the strap through here, around through a loop, and pull it tight. Pull it down such as that. If, say, you want something, you want the extra security and extra anchor point of a triangle knot, then you can pull the knot down in this direction, and you can see now we've got extra support. That's particularly good for, as I was saying, things like large round marble tables or pieces of glass.